All right, let's not waste any time. So the question I'm posing today is the Voyager bankruptcy a good thing or bad thing for retail investors? Okay, so to give you some context, we're going to go over some information. We'll pause in between, we'll talk about it, and then we'll ultimately discuss what the hell's going on. So pull up my laptop, please, Mr. Producer. Crypto broker Voyager Digital files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the state of New York. Per the petition for Voyager Digital Holdings, estimated assets are between 1 and 10 billion, with between the same amount in liabilities. And the estimated number of creditors exceeds 100,000. Here is their petition. This is the actual form. Let me make it a little bigger for my friends here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but a couple things I wanted to highlight. I'm going to scroll down here. Now, with Chapter 11 bankruptcy, okay, so let me give you a couple examples of who's filed and where they are now. United Airlines filed for Chapter 11 in 2002. General Motors filed for Chapter 11. Macy's filed for Chapter 11. Toys R Us filed for Chapter 11. And these are brands that are still around. Well, maybe not Toys R Us. So it's essentially a way. So when you file Chapter 11, you don't have enough money to pay everyone back, but you still think you could salvage your creditors, which in this case would be secured, unsecured, retail, shareholders, blah, blah, blah. Or you want to restructure everything, pay back pennies on the dollar, and then come out of it. And what Robin mentioned with Toronto Stock Exchange delisting, that is essentially mandatory when you file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, is you automatically get delisted from the stock exchange, whether that's in Canada or in the US. Now, here, if I could scroll down a little more. So debtor estimation. So the debtor, when you see debtor, that's Voyager. Creditor is retail investors, anyone who's lent money to them, blah, blah, blah. Funds will be available for distribution to unsecured creditors, which will be you guys, right? People who have money on Voyager, the consumer. And then if you scroll down here, I'm not going to go through all of this again, but it asks them to list the top 50 unsecured claims. And obviously Alameda came in number one. It's an unsecured loan, $75 million. And then each individual customer, one guy's got 9.7 million, 7.8, blah, blah, blah. Now, I want to give you some context on Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I spent about 3 hours yesterday watching video after video. I called one of my friends. He's a lawyer, does bankruptcy, asked him some questions. I actually tried to get him on the show, but he had a packed day today. But this is from Investopedia. During a Chapter 11 proceeding, the court will help a business restructure its debts and obligation. In most cases, the firm remains open and operating, but the process is not a speedy one. So United filed for Chapter 11 in December of 2002, and they didn't come out of it until 2006, January of 2006. So a little over 3 years. Chapter 11 comes in two parts. The first part is when you submit your proposal to the courts. The shareholders, they vote on it, and they either approve it or they don't. And then the second part is actually paying everyone back, whether that's monthly, lump sums, whatever the case may be. The business is not able to make some decisions without the permission of the courts. These include the sale of assets, starting or terminating a rental agreement, and stopping or expanding business operations. In Chapter 11, the individual or business filing bankruptcy has the first chance to propose a reorganization plan, which in this case, because it was voluntary, would be Voyager. These plans may include downsizing of business operations to reduce expenses, as well as renegotiating debts. In some cases, involves liquidating all assets to repay creditors. Now, what are some advantages? The biggest advantage is that the entity, which is Voyager, can continue operations while going through the reorganization process. This allows them to generate cash flow that can aid in the repayment process. What are some disadvantages? It's usually the most expensive form of bankruptcy proceeding for a company that is struggling to the point where it is considering filing for bankruptcy. The legal costs alone might be a bit onerous. So, I'm going to stop there. Okay? You want to add anything else before I move on, Robin?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. So here's the list. I created this myself. Compliment. And Ed, can you go full screen laptop so they can see everything? So this is on the left, order of creditors to be paid back. Okay. So First, you have post-bankruptcy money. Okay, so Voyager is allowed to raise more money. No, go back to it. Just go click. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, buddy. Voyager is able to still raise money and take money from outside investors as unsecured debt. And now that money goes to the top of the line, even above secured creditors. And they have to be paid back in cash or cash equivalent. Then you have secured creditors, same thing. Then you have undersecured creditors. So not 100% unsecured, but they're not fully secured either. And they have to be paid in a combination of cash, new shares of the restructured company, and crypto tokens. Then you have priority unsecured creditors, which are the employees, administration fees, lawyer fees, same thing. And then in the red, non-priority unsecured creditors, which is retail, which is consumers. Same thing, combination of cash. And then you have the people that get it the worst. Preferred shareholders and common shareholders of their VYGVF stock. And SOL doesn't stand for Solana. It stands for shit out of luck because they essentially get nothing. Okay, so you can put it back to me. I'm done with the laptop. I'm going to make my case for why this is a good thing, okay? First of all, when you file for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the court oversees your operations. Okay?
Just David. No laptop. Just the David camera. There
Beautiful, my man. Ed, thank you so much. We brought Ed in literally. No, you're good, man. We brought him in literally last minute, so we appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
Got like a trillion buttons back
Yeah,
there.
you should see our, looks like cockpit of an airplane. So when you file for Chapter 11, you're essentially, the court has to sign off on anything you do. So if you want, hey, this is how, you got to propose a plan, and the court has to say, okay, this sounds good. Would you rather Voyager do that, or would you rather than do what Celsius is doing, which is using retail money, paying back corporate debt, paying back loans, and no one knows what the hell is going on? And yes, bankruptcy is not a good thing. But in this case, and people are saying, well, I'm just going to get useless shares of a new Voyager stock. Well, would you rather get some cash, some tokens, some shares of a possibly useless stock, or would you rather get zero, like the people of Celsius are probably getting? So to me, this is a good thing. You have a court overseeing your decisions. Now, the whole we're going to come out of this and we're going to be a new company, I don't buy into that. I think as soon as withdrawals are halted or they pay people back, people are done with Voyager. The only way Voyager can survive is if a credible name, a credible company comes in and just takes over that entire platform. And then even then, branding has to change. You have to add some sort of, I don't know, insurance or something to make people feel comfortable. Like, hey, if this happens again, my funds are safe. I'll stop there for a second. Go ahead.
David. You should be ashamed of yourself, bro. You should be ashamed of yourself for sitting here trying to build up a case for why bankruptcy is a good thing. Okay?
Not all bankruptcies are created equal.
Yeah, they're spending money and effort and restructuring to launch another company. How about you don't do any of that? How about you just simply take every single dollar you have and try to funnel it to the people that have lost out, instead of trying to relaunch a completely different company? Nobody wants to go back into Voyager. Nobody cares about Voyager. Voyager is stupid. Nobody likes it. They mismanage funds. They burn people. People lost money. We don't need you to come back to life. Nobody needs you to come back to life. And you know what? It's damn insulting that Voyager is going to give you their VGX token. Nobody wants your dumbass VGX token. Pull up my laptop. Look at this VGX token. Look, this is with the VGX token chart right here. You think it's going to get any better?
If you get enough of it, you might make a little money back.
Yeah, okay, sure. That's like somebody breaking in your house, stealing 10 grand. The cops arrest them and be like, well, he had $40 on him, so we'll just give you that.
Better than nothing.
Okay, $40, sure, yeah. And you know what? Okay, sure, give the people back some money. But you know what the right thing should be? Is not to start another company and expose more users to more risk. You should just call it quits, take all the money out, and just divvy it up. Instead of trying to launch another freaking thing. How many more people are going to get burned on a new company? I mean, think about it.
Okay. Two things that I think was good that Voyager did with Chapter 11. One When you file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, okay, so Celsius, for example, their creditors can go sue them right now. And essentially, the first one to sue has the best chance of recouping all their money. By filing for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, it stops all creditors from suing them for money. That's number one.
So that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing that you can't sue Voyager to get your money
would
back.
You but retail's not
you know
gonna
what?
go,
If they took my money,
retail is
I would
not
like
gonna
to
go-
sue them.
Okay, you don't have enough money to pay for a good lawyer to take him to court and sue him.
You don't know
guess
how much
what?
money I have. If I want to sue Voyager, I sure as hell can.
Because guess what? It wouldn't be retail investors. It wouldn't be the unsecured debtors. It would be the secured creditors. It would be Alameda Research. It would be these people who have millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars that Voyager owes them. They would be first in line. At least now, retail has a chance of recouping some of their money. They have a chance.
Recouping how much? You're going to get pennies on a dollar, bro. It's stupid.
Anything is better than nothing. Hey, guy watching. I don't know what your name is, but if you have money on Voyager, you have 10 grand and you get $2,000 back.
Sure.
You get $2,000 back. Would you be happy?
Okay. You know what I don't think is right is launching another damn company. There's no need for it, bro. There's no need for another company. There's no need for a Voyager 2.0. You know what? You done messed up the first time, and now you're like, well, you know what? They filed bankruptcy, so instead of getting your money back, they'll give you a 10%. How about the people that got direct deposits from their checking account into the Voyager account? They have a Voyager debit card, and that's all gone too. And what? They're gonna give them $10 back, 10%, 20% at most.
So what? Just nothing? Would you rather than do a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13?
You're in a risky industry right here. I'd rather VGX curl up and die and people lose money because there's always risk in investing.
Robin would rather you lose money.
I would rather people lose money in the short term than to relaunch another company that will probably fail again later on,
Yes,
and
it
exposing
will, but
more people to more issues and more debt in
You
the
are
later.
so hyper focused on the new company, okay? That is the least of my
They should
concerns.
be going away. There should be no Chapter 11, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, you get to restart, a fresh start. You can launch another company, and you know what? Here's some of our Voyager tokens, so that way we can fish you in to getting back into our ecosystem. Here's some stocks. 'Cause think about the people that don't immediately sell it. People that get paid in VGX tokens. They get paid in Voyager
That'll
stock.
be to their discretion whether they want to hold it or
but
not.
they're going to hold it in the thinking that maybe they'll recoup some of their money just to get burned once again. And I'm telling
that's
you.
on them. At least they have a lifeline. At least they have a chance. At least they have a chance.
And you know who else got a chance? Voyager's got a chance to come back into the fray, and they don't deserve a second chance.
They're not going to come back the way they are. They will not be allowed to operate in the U.S. the way they are. They fucked up. Everyone agrees they messed up, okay?
Do you think they deserve a second chance?
Okay, let me ask you this question. Would you rather them do what Celsius is doing? What's better, Celsius's route or Voyager's route?
They both suck.
Okay, but if you had to pick one, which one would you pick?
But I wouldn't make a case for either one of them being a good option.
But if you had
Voyager's
to pick,
a stupid
pick
option.
one.
Celsius is a stupid option. You made mistakes, and now you got to deal with it. When you invest,
Exactly. So not either choice is ideal,
I
but
don't
you're
want
stuck
Celsius-
in the situation.
I don't want
What are you
Celsius to
picking?
come back. I don't want Celsius to come back.
I don't either.
I don't want Voyager to come back.
I don't either.
Then this
but
is
I
what
want
happened.
people to get their money back. And this is the best way for
that's
people
all
to get
fine
their
and
money
dandy,
back.
but I'm telling you,
it's all
I'm
through
telling
the
you, bro.
court. It's not going to be, hey, we're paying using retail money. We're using unsecured, non-priority creditor money to pay off loans, to unlock collateral, to pay back these secured
When you
lenders.
invest,
and then
when
what?
you invest,
shareholders are fucked. Unsecured creditors are screwed. Is that what you want?
You know what? When a company goes parabolic and you make money, you're investing and you take profits and you make money and you become rich. But at the same time, if you want to invest in a company that goes under, you understand the risk when you invest.
Misled people. People thought the way it was worded on their website.
What company hasn't?
People thought.
Okay, what company hasn't went out of business that misled people? Did anybody? Has there ever been a company that was like, you know what? I knew they were going to go under, but I threw money in anyways. No, they mislead. Every company that goes under misleads their investors because they think it's a great idea. People are like, oh, this is a great new blah, 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 blah. No. So they fit the mold of every other shady company that's went under. And shady companies that go under, they take the investors with them. That's what happens when you invest in a risky asset class. When you invest in risky assets, That's what happens. Buy a bunch of penny stocks, put $1 million in it. If you lose your money, I don't feel bad for you because it's a risky asset. Same thing with Voyager.
So you would rather, let me get this straight. You are advocating that no one gets any money back. Is that what you're advocating?
If it means Voyager dies, so be it.
Wow. So next time you say I'm the man of the people, I'm gonna call bullshit. Bull fucking shit.
No,
well, if someone's got
because it
50
helps
grand
more
of their
people.
life savings on there and they can recoup $5,000, 10%.
The loss
That's
of
the
one.
that's the difference of someone contemplating suicide and someone not.
The loss of one person will benefit the greater
They're
mankind.
going away anyways. No one is gonna invest in a new Voyager 2.0. It's just
If they rebrand,
which they will try, but
yeah,
no
they're
one
going to
is
rebrand under something else, and people are not going to know. They're going to be like, "Oh, what's this new exchange over here? Let me use that." I'm telling
At
you.
that point, that's on them. At that point, that's on them.
And you don't care
But
about
give
those people?
people-
You don't care
give-
about those people, but you care about the people that irresponsibly are invested, huh?
Okay, so it's either
So
file
who do you care
Chapter
about?
11, reorganize, come out of it a new company, and pay some of your unsecured creditors back like retail
The
investors.
people already
or
lost
either
money.
do a 7 or a 13 bankruptcy, everything gets wiped out, they liquidate everything, they pay the highest people first. Is that what you want?
You know what I want? I want the company to go away. I don't want a second chance for Voyager, and I don't
It's
want.
a free market. The free market will decide when and it will go away. It
And
will.
the free market said they died. And now they're using loopholes to circumvent their debts and screw people over and give them pennies on a dollar so they can have a second life and come by and screw a whole new round of people. And so, you know what? That's all I got.
Aren't the people paid with tokens just going to dump it on the free market anyway and dump the token? It's going to crash the token.
Right.
And then the people that decide they want to hold the token in hopes that it gets some value.
Well, that's on them. That's on them. At least they get a second chance with their money. At least you can take it out of the thing. I can't believe you're sitting here advocating. We got to turn the music off.
knob at the top.
So you're advocating for the company to not pay any of its retail investors back, to not protect them of these larger creditors to come and sue them.
All I'm saying
first come, first
is
serve.
that if giving the investors that lost money 10% of their money back at the cost, if that's the cost, you give them 10%, maybe 20%, and you give them a token that's trash anyways. If that's the reason, like, hey, but they get 10%, you get to relaunch another company, exposing all kinds of new people to more undue risk, then I feel like that's not worth it, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but this company being around is going to be more problematic than them just simply going away. And it's not like all the investors that lost money are being made whole. It's not like if you had $10,000, you get $10,000 back.
You get something.
Yeah, but you get something. But the problem is giving them something gives you the opportunity to go back and operate business again. And I don't feel like they deserve to operate business again. And you sit here and say, well, it's on you if you reinvest in it. But there's going to be new people that come into the space in the same way that this bull run had tons of people FOMOing into crypto that didn't know anything. They're not going to know about the history. Come 2024.
Yeah, they will. You know why? Because we will be talking about it.
In 2024 and 2025, in the next bull run, people are going to look and they're going to be like, okay, what exchange? Coinbase. Oh, this one gives me cheap fees. And they're going to expose new people to more risk, and more people are going to get hurt by them staying in business than the opposite, than the people that are already lost money. And instead of giving them a fraction of the amount, I would just rather they just wipe the slate clean, because they're also going to spend a lot of money in relaunching. And that money they spend in relaunching the second company could be used to pay people back. They have money on hand. So they could, as you say, give people back some money and not relaunch another company. And so you have the option of, hey, let's just liquidate and pay people back as much as we can. Or, hey, when we launch another company, we give them a little bit of money. We give them our freaking stock. We give them our token. Like, I'd rather, hey, give me 10% of my money back and just go out of business. Instead of
that would have never happened. That would have never happened.
Why not? That's what happens when you liquidate and you go out of business.
Yeah, but that there would not even be near enough money. Because when you do a Chapter 11, you have banks come in, you have bankers come in that reevaluate the finances of the company. You really trust Voyager to tell you how much they have on assets and liabilities? No.
They're publicly traded. No, they're actually publicly traded companies, so we know exactly how much money they have on hand in assets. They actually have that in sheets. So if in anything, if you liquidate, you know exactly how much money you're going to get back.
A banker will come in and they'll reassess the company and say,
and the bankers will take fees and percentages, and it'll be less money that goes out. And there's going to be money set aside to relaunch the new business, so less money for the investors. The only upside,
that money is money that gets raised.
The only upside that you're getting from them, the only upside you're getting in comparative speaking, as far as dollar, okay, you're getting less dollars, but you're getting more of this Voyager token and Voyager stock. You're getting that. And if they just liquidated, went out of business, you're going to get just cash. And you're not going to get that other trash.
But you're not going to get shit. That's what I'm telling you. Because the people at the top would get all that cash. And
Perhaps,
they would have zero obligation to pay retail investors anything. Nothing. What I'm trying to tell you is when you go through a Chapter 11, you're overseeing every decision you make outside of fundraising more money has to get approved by the court.
Okay, then why don't you sign up for the new Voyager account when they come out?
I'm not going. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
But you're advocating for it.
Advocating for what?
For them to file Chapter 11 and survive and come back into the market.
Okay, this is 99% of our arguments is you either misunderstand what I'm saying.
But that's the outcome of the bankruptcy.
Okay, but it has more than one layer to it, man. It's not just Chapter 11, we're coming back. It's Chapter 11, how the creditors get treated, how the money gets spread up.
So we're done with this one.
Yeah, because you know you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
You're wrong. Pull up my laptop, Ed. This is a This is a tweet from Stephen Ehrlich, who is the CEO of Voyager. He tweeted this 12 hours ago, so 11 p.m. last night, essentially confirming that they are restructuring, file for Chapter 11. Now, I want to read customers with crypto in their accounts will receive in exchange a combination of the crypto, proceeds from the 3AC recovery, which is a joke.
It's going to be zero.
It's going to be zero. Common shares in the newly reorganized company, which will also be a joke. And Voyager tokens, which is also a joke. Will receive a combination of their crypto, okay? That's the part I'm focusing on. And if they just went under or liquidated everything, they wouldn't have gotten nothing. It is important to know, and this is big, part of the announcement, we are confirming that customers with USD deposits in their account, not USDC, not stablecoin, USD dollars, will receive access to those funds after a reconciliation and fraud prevention process is completed with Metropolitan Commercial Bank. During reorganization, we'll maintain operations. BS, and there's numbers here that you can call. I'll leave this up here for a quick second in case you guys want to call these numbers to get more information. But they should be emailing you. You should be getting letters in your mail if you have money on Voyager as far as how the bankruptcy is going. But this could take a while, guys. Like I said, United Airlines took 3 years. I believe GM took 2 years. So as long as and it sounds like they already submitted their plan, that has to get approved. Once that's approved, they move into phase 2 where they start figuring out who they're paying back, how they're paying them back.